Today is July 1st, 2014, and the National Weather Service has just named Tropical Storm Arthur as the 2014's first tropical depression. We're here today at the Merlin Law Group. My name is Nicole Vinson. I'm an attorney in our Tampa office. We're here today to offer you, as homeowners or business owners, some plans as we get prepared for the storm season. One of the things that the homeowners and business owners should be doing at this point in time is making sure your insurance policies are handy. You want to make sure you have both your flood and your wind policies, and if you have questions about those coverages, now is the time to start talking to your insurance agent. It looks like it's going to be another day or two before the residents in the Florida area feel the impact of Arthur. So now I would be calling on the agent to find out, especially if you have questions about what buildings are covered, what coverages you have, the conditions under the policy, what's excluded, what's included, and making sure that everything that you understand to be your insurance is actually reflected in your policies. Now, if you're like a lot of people, when you go to pull out that policy, you're finding a few documents and you might not have everything you need. Now's the time to talk with your agent, and you can even contact us to see if you have everything you need. Tropical Storm Arthur appears that it will impact the east coast of Florida tomorrow and then head up to the Carolinas, where it's expected to turn into a Category 1 hurricane. And even if these projections are off, I encourage everyone to take some time and do some emergency preparedness that may not be on the top of your list. We all know about making sure you have food and water, medications, things like that. Having a disaster plan in place is critically important, but one of the things that everyone needs to make sure they have is a review of their insurance policies. As we come into this time, hurricane season, you need to make sure you have coverage for what you assume is insured. If you have a property, you need to make sure you have wind and flood coverage, and a lot of people have criticized the necessity for having flood coverage if they weren't on the edge of the water. However, in 2012, we learned from Superstorm Sandy that flood coverage can be critically important even in areas where everyone assumed the floodwaters wouldn't reach. And if you remember back in 2012, the prediction was that that would be a very low season for hurricanes. My colleague Sean Marker wrote a blog, and he said that only one storm in 2012 could change that prediction, and he was right. So here we are at the beginning of the 2014 hurricane season, and I encourage you to review your policies for the following things. One, you need to make sure that the covered property is the property that's listed on the policy. Make sure the locations are all on the policies so that those areas are covered in the event of a loss. You need to make sure you have coverage for flood and wind. Oftentimes the flood policy is going to be completely separate and it will be mailed to you from a separate envelope, so you need to locate that documentation and review what the declarations page shows. If you have questions about what would be covered, you need to contact your agent and ask the hard questions. Does this policy cover X scenario? If you're still wondering what will happen in the event of a loss, this is exactly the kind of questions that we can answer here at Merlin Law Group. In both North Carolina and Florida, where I practice, it's important that policyholders under their policies mitigate their damage. When the storm hits, the policyholders have duties. Those conditions are outlined in your policy of insurance. But if you don't have your policies, you won't be aware of what timelines you need to follow and what obligations you have. In addition, it's important that you make sure that you understand what the limitations and the coverages are that are provided in your policies. Again, if you have questions, Merlin Law Group is here to help answer those, and as you prepare for the storm season, we encourage you to stay logged in to propertyinsurancecoveragelaw.com and contact us with any questions. Thank you.